Do you want to be a mad scientist and clone your tomato plants? In this video, I'm going to show you how simple it is to clone a tomato plant from a cutting. Hi, this is Jeremy Stark here from Green Thumb Gardener, here to give you some tips, tutorials, and reviews for all your gardening needs. In today's video, we're going to do something really crazy and special. I love doing stuff like this because it just shows like how fun gardening is. It really shows how much that you can just do different things, that it's kind of out of the normal. And it's also a good way to share your garden with your neighbors, because they're going to come over and they're going to take a look at all your tomatoes and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, how did you do that? I want one of these tomatoes. They taste great. How do I get these in my garden this year? Well, this way you can actually do it. You can actually gift them and give them a tomato plant. Follow these simple steps. But before we get started, if you could please give us a green thumbs up. Let us know that we're making great videos for you. Also, if you could hit that subscribe button down below. It'd really be nice if you just come over and join the party. Hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell so you get notified of any new videos. Also, we do have a website called gardenerthumb.com where we have lots of tips, tricks, hacks, and all that other good stuff out there as well. So check that out if you have some time. Now that we get that out of the way, let's get right into it. All right, so it's really simple to actually clone a tomato plant. It really starts with selecting the right section on the actual tomato plant so that you know where to cut the plant. So one of the benefits of doing this is that you're going to get more tomato plants out of it, obviously. But let's say you have a neighbor and they're growing some tomatoes, and you just didn't happen to grow that one, but you have another spot in your garden. You can actually grab their tomato, their actual cutting off their tomato plant, and then grow the roots, and then you plant it in your garden. The other thing, what I like to do is, as I come in later on in the summer, maybe the middle of July, because it does take a couple weeks for the rooting to get settled. And then what I do is I grab just something off one of my plants, and then I root it up, and then I put it in the garden so that I'm getting more tomatoes. Because sometimes towards the end of the season, the tomatoes, they still produce, but I don't know, maybe a deer came in or something ate something, or just didn't really produce what you wanted. So I always find that's kind of like a way to extend the garden, the harvest in there, if you're in the right zone. Obviously if you have a shorter summer, so you kind of want to plan it, but here in North Carolina we can grow very long. And this is also a way to, if you have a greenhouse and you happen to be in an area where you can grow in the winter in a greenhouse, this is a good way to get set up for the winter as well, without having to start anything from seed. If you do play it right, you can get a large enough tomato cutting that you can, it's almost like a full plant. So what I like to do is I come in where that's the spot right there where you can actually get more in there. So if you can see, it's kind of the 45-degree angle. So as you can see, this is basically another plant. And this is the way that the tomato kind of ensures its viability by producing that. So this is the actual stem that I'm going to take right here. So all I do is, let me see if I can hold this up while I'm doing this here, is I just cut it off right at the juncture there. So as you can see, I just basically cut it off, and the plant is still, it's still alive here. So what I do next is I actually do chop off these leaves right here. Now you can leave them on, it's not necessary to do it, but I find that I just have a better luck. I at least chop off the last one on the bottom, and then I keep this growth right here in here. Basically I just have that it's got enough stem in here. So the next thing when I do, and I've already started this with one of my plants, and as you see, this one's a little bit larger. Look at this one. This one's actually quite large. So all I do is I just take a cup of water and I'm basically putting them in the water. Now, obviously, if you got two different plants here, you want to make sure you label them. So I'll have to make sure I label them so I know which one is which. But this one's the Cherokee Purple, and then this one is one of my Cherry Roma ones. So what I do is I leave these basically out of the sun. I usually just put them in an area where it's just not really going to get much sun, where they'll be undisturbed. And what I'll do is the energy will go from growing in here to actually growing roots. And after a couple weeks, what you'll see is you'll start seeing roots will be growing off of the tomato stem itself. Hey guys, just wanted to quickly show you what the tomato plant looks like once you once you have it in water. So you'll notice that the roots have grown, and this is really after maybe 5 to 7 days. You'll start noticing that the actual roots will be growing out of the tomato plant. I did pick off most of the leaves. I left a 1 or 2 stems in here, and you'll notice that it's kind of getting a little yellow and everything, but that's still fine. So at this point, what you do is actually you want to put this in and bury it as much as you can. I might even bury it all the way up to the top. I might just leave this right here, because what happens with the tomato plants is they will actually form more roots all along the stem right here. So just get this in a pot with some dirt, give it a little bit of fertilizer, some water soluble fertilizer, and it will soak it right up, and then it will start growing. You do want to make sure that you do water this a little bit more for probably the first 4 or 5 days after you transplant it into the pot. But once it gets established in there, and then you can set it out, or you can set this in your normal spot that you want to put in your garden. Like if you have a container, you can put it in there. But I like to just transplant it into a regular pot for a couple weeks, and then I transplant it out. The tomato plants are very versatile to growing. So they actually, when you actually plant tomato plants, when you insert the stem into the dirt, actually going to grow roots off of here. So I tried just inserting this in a container, and as long as I watered it every day to keep it moist, and I know the roots took place. So that is another option. You can do that. Most people will tell you to put it in water because that's pretty much the safe option. But if you're on top of your stuff and you know that you're going to be looking at it every day, then you can also actually put it directly in the dirt. In fact, I'm going to do this for one of them, just because I want to show you the pictures of it when it's done. Well, hopefully you found that helpful. If you could, please give us a green thumbs up to let us know we're making great videos for you. Also, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so you get notified of all of our new videos. Also, we do have a website called gardenerthumb.com where we have all tips and tricks and hacks and all that other stuff for all your gardening needs. So get out there, smash the like, do whatever else you guys got to do. Get out there and get dirty in the garden, and I'll see you in the next video.